Don't dislocate your arm patting yourself on the back.
Hello there, Sarah from 17 once again. This is my Darksiders 3 Apocalyptic difficulty video walkthrough. We are slow walking into a battle, and luckily enough the watch are pissed off so that we can get into the combat, and we're going to be moving through the Boneyards and facing the Angelic champion. That dude right there in that throne is one of my favourite enemies in this game. He has a lot of really good telegraphs, he's got really cool design, he just looks creepy, he's pretty sweet. The Grim Reaper guy over here I think is a massive homage to Demon Souls. He summons enemies, like, relentlessly. But there's a part of me that thinks that maybe the Necromancer has been in these games before. I don't know why. There's some kind of nostalgic part of my brain that thinks maybe he's been in Darksiders before, so it's not a massive Panda Fest to Demon Souls, but it feels like one. And then there's a lot of enemies in this area, but luckily a lot of their attacks are really well telegraphed, so you can dodge them pretty consistently. And all I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to run around, circumnavigating all these fiends, and picking up all the items. We've officially got to the part of the game where you're going to see me doing a lot of not fighting, because fighting is just not the best option, with how quickly I can die and with how much the enemies take. Then you're also going to be introduced to this new environmental puzzle solving with this creature, which looks ghastly, absolutely ghastly looking monster, but is actually friendly and helps you by being a portable platform. And I really like it. It's a very simple mechanic, but it's fun. One of the things that I don't think anyone's mentioning enough about this game is some of the traversal, the level design, and the puzzle mechanics are really, really cool. Like, the world and the way it interlocks and links is great. It's just the checkpoints ruin it. If the checkpoints were better, I think more people would notice the elegance. And some of the elegance is even there, they just chose to fuck you with it. As I go over here and take on this guy who's going to get looped, I think. Like, a really good example. The Sloth runback is the worst runback in the game, yet when you kill him, you make a bridge with a train between the boss arena and the Vulgrim station. Why couldn't you do that during the fight to give you a better runback? If they'd have enabled you to cut that web and make that train move and run back to that boss in 5 seconds, that would have been majestic, really good design, and instead of calling it the worst runback in the game, I would have been calling it the cleverest. All that is 1 second of redesign. Instead of making that area blocked off because of just a random firewall of you can't come past here because you're in a boss fight garbage, they could have made it so that you could trigger the web. That would have been a great checkpoint. Maybe it is. Maybe you can do that. Maybe you can somehow get the fire through that barrier and make that happen, and I just didn't notice, and then shame on me. But the fact remains, they were this close to making something great, and they made it shit. Because they didn't realise. Or maybe they did, and if they did, it's worse, because they actively made you run back through an area that's completely unacceptable to fight a boss that kills you in 1 hit no matter what he does, pretty much. There are few things that he can hit you with unless they hit you flush that don't kill you. It's weird. And you might be thinking, well, Chris, that's just the game, just get over it. I know there's a lot of people that think like that. You can't change it by complaining, so why bring it up? Well, in my opinion, if we don't critique these things and if we don't get to the source of them and analyse why they're bad and why they need to change, no one will ever think they need changing. If you don't say that this is not desirable and this is not good design, people think they can get away with it. And I don't want them to get away with it, because this would have been a better game if they put more Vulgrim stations in places. This would have been a better game if you didn't need a Vulgrim station to save. Checkpoints should be something in 2018 that you don't even notice anymore because they're so useful and so effective. They were invented in the fucking 80s, dude. We've been using them for over 20 years. You can't come with this bollocks of no checkpoints and then just go, Dark Souls, Dark Souls, Dark Souls, and everything's forgiven. Fuck you, and fuck that mentality, because it's garbage. And speaking of garbage, this is going to get really crowded right now. So I need to move this guy over to that area that I was just near, but he's a little slow, and these wannabe war, strange cloud guys are all going to jump attack me. But their jump attack is really fair, because the moment you hear that ching of their weapon, that means it's the beginning of their jump. And usually, you'll see them on camera before they land, so you can dodge them on reaction. This particular enemy is one of the fairest enemies in the game, because his telegraphs are really strong. When the telegraphs are good, you won't have too much trouble with them. And considering there's 4 of them, it's rare that I'm not just immediately getting gangbanged, so it's kind of cool. It's a testament to the Boneyard's design. The Boneyard looks crowded, it looks all over the place, it looks like there's way too much in one area, but once you realise what you're doing, you come to understand that there's a lot more balance here than you would think. This is much more balanced than the area we were just in. The area we were just in is a much worse area in my opinion, but this place looks more intimidating because the green stuff is almost instant death. But it has to be said, and I'm going to say it, this is the second worst run back in the game. Technically it could be the third worst. Yeah, this might be the third worst, because there's another sub-boss. I don't know what it is, guys. It's just strange design again. The Angelic champion has a terrible run back and an awful fight because you have to fight 4 angels before he turns up, and then he kills you in like 1 to 2 hits. And it's really annoying because you've got to run all the way back and jump over 2 chasms and go through a mid-level load and fucking pick your ass, pick your nose, go for a coffee. Just really, really stupid and annoying. The second one is in the Scar, and it's to do with the bosses. For some reason, mid-bosses in this game have really bad run backs. I have no idea why. In fact, the Scar run back is probably worse than Sloth. In fact, I think it is. Thinking about it now, it's worse. But the difference is the boss is easy, and I'm going to cheese it with a throwing weapon because I don't want to get touched by it because he kills me instantly and I don't know his pattern. But other than that, it's just stupid. It's really stupid. So this is my least favourite part of the game coming up here. And all because I don't like having to fight 4 angels a boss after running for a minute to get to them. And it sounds like a small complaint, doesn't it? But it's true. If the checkpoint was in the room with the angels, then you would never even remember this. You would never speak of it because it's just a standard fight. The boss is actually a joke. It's so ridiculous how easy he is, but because 2 hits and you're dead, it's really easy to fuck up because you're too busy thinking about having to run back again. And I get hit in this fight as well, which is sloppy of me, but I can take a hit, which is nice. And the general gist of the strategy, guys, since I might as well explain it while I do this traversing, because I'm not going to be doing any fighting, I'm going to be running away. If you get close to the boss and you circle to your right, you will be moving towards his shield arm. He can do 3 things, depending on the phase of the fight. At the beginning, he can only do 2. First one is he'll do a shield bash that's quite slow. Every so often it can seem faster though. I don't know what it is about that move. I don't know if the frame rate can be a bit weird with it or whatever it was. But usually the shield is pretty deliberate. The one that hits me felt really quick. I don't know why. Maybe in the heat of the battle, my adrenaline was going. And this is the move you want. Because after he hits you with a shield, you can swing twice, and then he'll hit you with a shield again. And all you do is keep moving to your right, and he just keeps trying to hit you with a shield. After a while, when he gets pissed off, he will block, and then all you do is move behind him and slap him in the bum. If you stun him, and he staggers, it's a free opportunity to land your full combo. And then afterwards, he tries to hit you with a shield again. So all you do is hit twice, dodge to the right, hit twice, dodge to the right, hit twice until he dies. And it's a really simple, mechanically retarded boss. The other 2 things he can do is sometimes he'll dash away from you and then he'll try to do a thrusting move. But the thrusting move comes directly to you, so all you have to do is wait there, dodge it, and then he tries to hit you with a shield again, and you've got him back in the loop of retardation. The third thing he can do is this big overhead telegraph slam that's very slow, and the best thing to do with that is activate your Wrath mode and iframe it, and then you can beat him up. And at that point, if your damage is good like mine's going to be, he'll already be dead. But it's the principle more so than anything else. The boss is not difficult. The boss is a joke. There are mini-bosses in this game. There are enemies in this game that are tougher than the boss coming up. It's the fact that you have to run all the way back to him, jumping over the 2 chasms, dodging the griffin, and then you have to go through the gauntlet of the 4 angels, and the 4 angels can kill you. Like, if you get hit by the wrong move from the angels, you're dead. The only good thing about the angels is that when they hit you, they put you into Tearstone range. So if you're going to use the Enoch gem, you're going to have enough damage then to do really big damage against him. Here's a human, by the way. Save them. Make sure you go back to the Maker's Forge to cash in and get your rewards. But just a show of hands, guys, for the people that are watching, who've been playing the game as well. How many people remember this particular part of the game? The champions in specific. I'm going to wager not many, right? You didn't really recognise or remember him because you just kind of killed him. You traded with him a little bit, you healed a few times, you didn't have a problem, you got on with your life, right? No one's going to remember this guy. Like, somebody asked me on one of my videos, what was my problem with the checkpoints? And I hate answering that kind of question because there's one part of me wants to go, are you a retard? And that's not a nice thing to say to a stranger, so I don't do that and I hold that back. But the intent is still there because in my mind, if you have to ask me what's wrong with the checkpoints, there is something wrong with your brain. But to say that just makes you sound like an arsehole, and it's not a nice thing to say. So instead, I kind of, go into it a little bit more and explain what my problem is. But still, on the back edge of that, you're still thinking, how can they not know? How do you not see what's wrong with the game? And then I realise, these people aren't playing Apocalyptic difficulty with 1 HP. If you're level 1 in health, everything's going to want to two-shot you outside of the early stuff. You're going to see the checkpoints for what they are, which is a heaving pile of dog shit, much like the collision on this wall when you throw these fucking bugs. Absolutely worthless, right? So they don't see that. If they're playing on normal, and they're just getting through the game and dying occasionally, but not that frequently, they're not going to see where all the fucking checkpoints are. I know where every checkpoint in this game is, because I've died that much. So I know them like I know, the intimate parts of a woman. I'm really well acquainted. And I hate them. I hate them so much. I hate them so much I could go on a Twitter tirade and tell the designer who made them that he should stop making games because I think he's fucking it up. And I would do that, but I'm not that kind of guy, so I'm not going to do that. Even though I would really like to do that, but I don't because I'm a coward. And at the end of the day, you never know whose decision it was, do you? Maybe the level designer wanted the checkpoints to be better, maybe the entire dev team wanted the checkpoints to be better, and they just had a really stubborn director. You don't know, guys. It's a multi-layered decision system. Maybe checkpoints would have broke the game. It barely functions as it is. Look at her when she tries to grab a fucking ledge. It's a strange thing to understand the true workings of a game. But I'm just going to wager, to finish this sentence, that not many people remember this sequence or how awkward this run back is. The stuttering in this area is really bad as well. It is quite a large area, so there's a decent amount of stuff to load. And here we go with another one of the slow motion walking sections that you can't skip. I've kept this one in because I want you to see what I have to suffer. Luckily, if you die to the boss, she doesn't do this again, which is one of the small mercies. Oh, if you're wondering too how to break the cars, I think you can break them by just beating them up, but if you charge the crossblade that we're going to get after this next fight, you can destroy the cars, but they don't drop anything. They don't give you orbs for some reason. But here's the boss. 4 angels, and then the big angel. And the big angel's the easiest bloody one. But he's still going to smack me, because he's a dickhead. So here we go. I've watched a lot of people do this fight, because I was frustrated. I was here for a while on my first run. And whenever I watch people on YouTube do this boss, I always saw the same thing. I saw people just going into Havoc mode and trading with it, and just spamming healing items, and spamming Havoc items, and Wrath items, and you sit there just going like, God, I wish I could do this. But, oh, interesting, I trade immediately with the angel, that was fun. But, if you hit them, you stun them. So you can alternate between stunning one, stunning the other, vice versa. Don't lock on here, guys, the lock-on's going to hurt you. I'm healing because in order to get into Tear Stone range, if I'm going to use it, I'm going to get it from the boss, and he should hit me once, and it should be enough to put me there. But here he comes, so if you walk up to him, he'll do a stab, and watch this. Shield bash. Dodge. Hit twice. Shield bash. Dodge. Hit twice. Boom, see? Didn't that one seem faster? That was faster. I'm not going insane. I don't know why that one was faster, but it was. And now he's blocking, so hit him in the bum. And then he dashes away, goes for the stab, and now he's going to hit me with a shield. Oh no, he stabbed again. Easy to dodge. Hit him again. Stabs again. Get close. Hit him. Shield. Oh no, here's the big one. Iframes. Shield. There it was. Every time. He's obsessed with hitting you with a shield. And there's the stun. Shield again. Is that not the easiest fucking thing on the planet? I can't even begin to tell you guys. I have no idea. Easy boss. Stupid pattern. A monkey could do it, and yet I was there for hours on my first run because the run back triggered me and tilted me so badly that's the 3rd worst run back in the game, and that's my least favourite section. But hopefully, guys, you had no problems there. You kicked absolute ass. You're all Darkside masters. I guess the real question is, to leave you with a rumination, why was that 3rd shield bash so fast? Dude cheated. Animation cancelled. I'm calling Miyazaki. Bastard.